Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode here on the PeerCraft server. So I just made a Draconic Staff of Power, and this is, I think, the best weapon in the game, so I'm pretty stoked to have this. Right now it does a 60 attack damage per hit with an attack speed of 1, so it attacks very quickly. And you make this by combining a Draconic Shovel, a Draconic Pickaxe, and a Draconic Sword into the Draconic Staff of Power with an Awakened Core and 5 pieces of Awakened Draconium. So this is a pretty crazy process to go through, just because you've got to make the Draconic Shovel, so you need an Awakened Core and a Draconic Energy Core for that, plus 2 additional pieces of Awakened Draconium. And then you need that times 3 for every piece that you're putting in. So where we needed the 3 pieces, the shovel, the pickaxe, and the sword, we needed like 4 awakened cores and 3 awakened energy cores, and I think 11 pieces of awakened draconium. So we actually had to make another set of 4 blocks, which was not too bad. It's fairly easy to do that. But when I was making the awakened draconium blocks, I noticed that the process of starting out when you're crafting, it gets to about 40% pretty quickly. And then it plateaus, and it moves much slower going forward after that initial 40%. So I took a look at the way I have everything set up, and I was wondering, why does it go so quickly at the beginning and then so much slower? And what I think might be happening is we've got these 2 Draconic Fusion injectors set up, connected to the vibrant capacitor. There's no cables or anything like that going to these 2 in the middle. And these output energy at 350,000 RF per tick. So what I think is happening is 700,000 RF is immediately going into the ejectors, but every injector after that, it takes 20,000 RF per tick for the pipes to connect to this over here. And everywhere else, actually. So even these 2 over here on the sides, and everything over here, and these over here, there's only 20,000 RF going into there per tick, where this one is outputting almost all that it's going to have to in one shot, because we need 4 of these on each side, so it's 8 total to make an Awakened Draconium block. So it ends up being 2/8 of that, so 1/4 of it is immediately getting all of the RF it's going to need, almost, with the exception of maybe 25 million RF. So I think what we're going to do is connect these capacitor banks in kind of a circle going all the way around. We definitely don't have enough to do this, but I think if we kind of do it on the side, so we would need 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So I think we would need 20 total, and it would kind of connect to these 3 at the bottom here. We've got 14, I think, right here. So I think if we connect all that together, the amount of time it's going to take to charge up an Awakened Draconium block might actually be instantaneous, which will be pretty good, considering that that's the longest part in this whole step, is getting the Awakened Draconium. But I'll show you the plan for today. What we've got down in level 5 is somewhat of a chicken farm going on. So we've got 4 Awakened Draconium, 4 regular Draconium chickens, and these are really easy to get. These put out eggs of Awakened Draconium all the time, but we've also got an Awakened Draconium chicken that drops 3 nuggets every 8 to 10 minutes, which is not a very good rate. It's extremely slow. So This, we can't rely on the Awakened Draconium chicken to get Awakened Draconium, but it gives us a little bit of extra that we wouldn't have had otherwise. But the plan for today is to start working on these chicken coops and start getting some chickens. But the first step we need for that is wheat. So I went out and collected a little bit, and we got these two set up here. So this is a flint chicken, and this one is a bone white chicken. And when you put these two together, you get an iron chicken, which we've got 5 of now. And we need the iron chicken and a yellow chicken, so we'll have to actually go out and search for yellow dye from dandelions, so we can get a yellow chicken, just like this. And that yellow chicken we'll be able to use to make, here we go, a couple other chickens, like a copper chicken, an orange chicken, a glowstone chicken, and this is the one we're after, the gold chicken. So that we can have an unlimited supply of gold to kind of get our Draconium system combined, because it takes Draconium, gold, and diamonds to make the cores for Draconium. So it's quite a process to go out and collect all that gold. So if we can automate it at least a little bit, it'll help us out a lot. And you're able to get a lot more resources from the chickens. So I think on this wall here, and maybe this wall, depending on how many we have, we're going to stick item conduits just like this, just like we have here, with the chicken coops running along the side to kind of get everything going, not necessarily into this chest. But this is what we've got so far. This is a really good way to get Draconium. So I think it's going to be a really good way to get flint and... or not flint, iron and gold, and some other resources as well, because there's an unlimited amount of chickens that you can have. It just depends on what the server can handle. So we're able to get like all these different chickens going. Maybe an ender pearl chicken would be good, but a gold chicken, a redstone chicken, netherwarts chicken. I can't think of anything else we might want. Maybe a Manulan chicken. But yeah, basically we need a copper chicken would be good. We need the gold chicken for sure. A Draconium chicken is for sale in the shop, so we wouldn't really need that again. But yeah, basically that's what we need. So we need to start getting going on getting the iron chicken up and making a yellow chicken, so that we can get the gold chicken and stick that over here so that we can start automating gold. So I'm going to go out into the world and see if I can find some dandelions to make some yellow dye. Alright guys, so we're back, and I went ahead and got a yellow chicken. So this was just dandelions turned into the yellow dye, and 8 of those around a normal chicken egg. So I actually had to like go out and get a normal chicken and hatch it and get this, and I could not find any eggs anywhere in any of my systems, and I traveled out into the world and couldn't find any out there. So I actually happened to have a regular chicken in a net, so I just threw it in here, waited about 5 minutes, and I actually got an egg from that. So it took a little bit longer than I thought it was going to, but we finally got the yellow chicken, stuck it next to the 2 iron chickens, and lo and behold, we got a golden chicken egg. So I'm starting to hatch this. As you can see, it's 55%. It's been about 5 minutes, so this will probably just take a little bit longer. I haven't been sitting on it, so it's taking a little bit longer. I can make it go faster. I just have other things I've been working on. And then I stuck 2 other iron chicken eggs over here, because these are tier 3, and these ones are only tier 2, which you can't see while they're in the little hatcheries. So we'll take one out. So right above where it says next egg in 7 minutes, it says tier 2. These eggs here are going to be tier 3, so they're going to be a little bit better. So we want to replace these iron chickens with these 2 eggs here, and hopefully we can get some tier 4 eggs out of it. But I think that's going to do it for now for chickens. Nothing too exciting is going to happen when I stick this one in a hatchery. Except for I may actually kill this flint chicken or this bone white chicken, because we don't really need them. And I don't have any more wheat to make another hatchery nesting pen. So actually I could probably just take one of these. We'll just kill it anyway. So yeah, I don't think anything else exciting is going to happen down here for the remainder of this episode. All the exciting stuff is going to happen at the top of our base. So we'll head up there and get going on that. So right here, we're setting up and this is going to take a while, a scallium reactor that is 15 by 15. Now we may have enough scallium to fill this with scallium blocks, but I don't think so. So I have to double check, but I believe we can just leave negative space in there. Hey, Freak Sound. So I believe we can leave negative space in there, but we may need to fill it with the scallium glass to get it to work. But a 15 by 15 of this thing is going to require quite a few blocks. And we need a solid like this, a solid base on the top and bottom, but we just need the one column lines going up and down for the sides. So we should be able to get this hopefully by our next episode. We should have that up and running. And I'll have to calculate how many blocks are in the volume of that generator, but it's going to be a lot. So I may calculate that and get back to you guys on that. But I'm actually just going to kill this guy real quick because I know he's going to try to kill me. There we go. We'll take this guy down too. Oh, I'm using my pickaxe. Doi. So that should be good. And so, as you can see, I don't know if I've showed you this yet. If I have, I'm sorry. If I haven't, we'll go over it again. So I have a Draconic Staff of Power now, and we actually upgraded this guy with the Tier 3 upgrade on attack. We didn't do any AoE, just because I want to be careful about what I'm hitting with this right now. But we upgraded it to Tier 3, which does 105 attack damage. And we've got somewhere a Sharpness 5 book, which I think I'm going to add. Not in this refined storage. It's probably in the other one. So I guess we'll grab that real quick and we'll do that. I put a anvil right here, because I've been having a weird issue with levels going away when I come to and from the end. So hopefully that doesn't happen anymore. But this only costs 5 levels. It's not a huge boost. It's actually only 3 attack damage, which, you know, it's okay. It's not great, but we'll take every point of attack damage we can get on this thing. And it glows now. That's kind of cool. Of course, enchantments would make it do that. I just, you know, draconic stuff is a little weird. Never really noticed the other sword we had glowing before. But it was kind of purpley anyway, so it's easy to miss that. But we're going to do some more Draconic Evolution crafting, and it took me a little while to craft up the extra 5 of these we needed. And I say I crafted 5, but I actually found 4 sitting in our refined storage here. And I wouldn't be surprised. I found them in the other one, and that's in the other base. I wouldn't be surprised if we had some in here. We don't. That makes me feel better. But I actually got everything I needed to craft up 5 of these. Found 4, only crafted 1. But now we've got 425 million RF hooked up to 2 Nether Star generators on the outside. So if it goes like I think it's going to, we should charge up very quickly while we're doing this. And what we're doing is taking our armor from Wyvern to Draconic. I really wanted to do this before my next live stream, where we're going to have a little surprise on there for what we're going to do. But we're going to go ahead and stick this guy in here and start crafting this up. So what we're going to need is one of these cores, and if I would have put it on the hotbar, I had it on the hotbar before. That was foolish of me. I did not grab nearly enough of that. I thought I had way more. But we need 5 pieces of this. And you know what? That should do it. It doesn't. What did I do wrong? Let's find out. Right there. I only needed 2 pieces. That's why. So I may have actually grabbed enough. Let's stick the rest on here. Perfect. So now it should. There it is. Ooh, that's really... Oh, I guess it's because it's got power in it already, and it holds a lot more power. Notice the armor rating only goes up by 1 armor toughness, but the capacity on the armor is a lot higher, so the armor drains at a much slower rate. And that kind of makes a weird little noise when you're standing next to it. Oh, actually, that's our shield. Draining from the withering effect. Let me turn down the volume real quick. Should be a little bit more bearable. Yeah, I think that's just from the withering effect, and we're crafting now. So this should be pretty quick. And while that's doing that, I actually need like 2 more pieces of the Awakened Draconium, so we'll grab that while that's crafting. And our chickens have been doing some work. This is actually coming in a lot quicker than it was before, but as you can see, we've got a hefty supply of Awakened Draconium now. So hopefully that'll get us through a lot, and hopefully, and I know it's a little OP and it's not really what I wanted to do entirely, but these chickens save so much time. I wanted to like go and have to kill 1,000 dragons and, you know, have to take hours and hours of crafting this up. So it's a bummer that we just have all those chickens to do all that for us. Not. So excited we got those chickens. Thank you so much for dropping those off, Cole. That is a lifesaver and a huge time saver. So we can go ahead and take this helmet out now. It doesn't have any power on it. I think in here it says that it's going to keep some of its characteristics, but it doesn't. That's weird. I don't know what's going on over here. Let me put that back on. Let me take that off. Maybe it gives us something for a power-up, and it's just doing it very quickly. Looks like our strength is going away. Oh, maybe it's night vision. Maybe we automatically get night vision with this. Nope, but that's what's going on. No idea what that's happening. I'll have to look at that. But we're ready to start crafting up our next piece of armor here. So we'll throw that in. And we can actually stack all this on top of each other. So let's do that, so we don't have to put these in one at a time. Perfect. And we're good to start crafting up the second piece. Alright, so we got the boots crafting up here. This is the last thing we've got to craft. So that's about 30%. And I've been periodically putting the RF inside of the armor, the Draconic Armor. So we'll just have to load in the boots with RF after. Which this should be done in just a second. Perfect. Super excited to have a full set of Draconic Armor. We're pretty much untouchable now. The charge rate on this is 512. And with the withering effect, it's pretty good as far as like we don't lose too much of the shield, and the shield energy, as you can see, it's at about 85% now. It's going down at a steady rate, but it's going down at a pretty slow rate. So it means that we're more apt to take damage because the armor's going to drain, especially in a fight against dragons, and not so much the wither, but when we're around these generators here, these tend to drain our power on our armor quite quickly. So what I want to do is add, and this is still freaking out on the side, is add these two, not necessarily enchantments, but upgrades, which is the upgrade key shield capacity and the upgrade key shield recovery, which is going to, this one's going to increase the amount of shield we've got, and this one's going to recover the shield more quickly. So if we're in a fight, we're able to back off really quickly, recharge our shields, and go back in if we need to. That is, of course, if we're able to get away. Wow, this guy is really freaking out. This armor does not like having night vision. Why is that? That may be a bug we might have to take care of. I'll make sure to let somebody know about this little weird issue we've got going on here, because I don't think anybody's got the Draconic Armor yet, at least on our server. So this may be a bug we just need to fix or take out, and it stopped for a second there. So for now, I guess we'll take that off. And wow, we look pretty awesome. I'm not gonna lie, we look pretty OP. It's almost as if we could take on something like a dragon, maybe. We'll find out on that as soon as we finish these upgrades. Alright guys, so we're ready to start adding these upgrades on. But before I hit start, I'm going to go ahead and take out all these nether stars. Because with that, I took off all of our armor just so we can do this pretty quickly. But if I don't take the nether stars out, and they actually still might kill us because there's some nether. Actually, let me take out these upgrades too, just in case, because we will immediately die from the wither effect if we do not have that on, because our wither pet will not save us at the speed that that's going to go. So we should be good to start now, and this is going to charge up and start crafting like normal. But what it's going to do is this one is going to add the shield capacity on there. And we have to do that 4 times. And then we're going to need the shield recovery on there. And we're going to have to do that 4 times. So that we can get all 8 upgrades on all 4 pieces of armor. So 2 upgrades per piece of armor. Which means we needed 16 golden apples, 16 diamonds, which was super easy. I've got excess of it. And Eyes of Ender. And these aren't necessarily scarce, but I don't have very many of them, and I didn't want to head all the way back to spawn to grab all of them. And the golden apples, I happen to have 17 apples, which worked out pretty nicely, because we don't have an apple farm by any means whatsoever, so going out chopping down trees trying to get apples would have been pretty boring. So I'm glad that I actually came up on 17 apples through, I'm assuming, loot bags. So we may actually have more apples in the spawn area over here, which this is a 25 million capacitor. Oh my god, I did not need to craft any. Well, that was a time waster. We're stuck. So I completely disabled this spawner down here. So we won't be getting any more loot bags. I don't know that we're going to need to. We've still got all of these that we need to open. We're working on chickens now. We've got cows, so we don't necessarily need to get anything extra out of that. Oh, we had 7 more apples. I figured we had some. But I've completely disabled this because even with my new computer, which I get about 60 frames per second, full graphics, running everything, which is fantastic, anytime I look in this general direction, it completely drops down to 0 or 1, and I'm not sure why, but I think it has something to do with this vacuum chest not picking up any items, which is why we haven't seen any anything get added to that giant chest down there. And I checked all of the conduits, and for some reason they're all set up right, everything should be working, but this vacuum chest is not picking up any items. So I just disabled everything down here, and for some reason it would not let me get rid of this cursed earth, which it might now. Oh, it does. Oop. And now the vacuum chest works. So I don't know what's going on. I've probably got all that cobble in here now, don't I? I do. Wow, I don't know. Maybe it was just like there were literally 10,000 items down here for entities. So maybe it was just so laggy down here that the vacuum chest wouldn't work at all. Either way, disabled it, accidentally just broke all of that, and now we're going to walk away because that's hideous and I don't want to look at it. So we'll go back to the crafting the rest of this stuff. Alright, so we're all done. I actually decided to take the time to add Wyvern, which is tier 2 upgrades on the armor. So we're going to throw that on and see what we end up with. Wow, that is crazy. 1,536 on the armor. That's insane. We were at about 500 before. The capacity on the armor is still about the same. I'm not even going to bother charging it up. I am going to charge it up. I wonder why we stopped flying. Maybe because I'm holding shift. It's probably because I'm holding shift. Go figure. How things work is how things work. We're going to throw these nether stars back in here. There we go. So we'll leave these capacitors all the way charged up. And we'll throw these in here as well. Perfect. And it's nighttime, so those aren't really charging because it takes GP. So we'll sleep real quick. And I don't think we're going to do Tier 3 right now, or maybe not even in the near future, just because Tier 3 is super expensive. Let's see, right here. So Tier 3 takes 256 million RF, and to do that 8 times in a row is going to take quite a while. It's going to take a lot of nether stars to power it. I think we've still got like 400 nether stars or something, but it's just... We're not going to do that right now, just because it's a huge time, not waster, but it takes a lot of time. And I'd really like to get this all set up in our base. And before we start doing Tier 3 stuff, I'd really like to get going on the chaotic crafting, which is the next level, which we'll place right here, just like we did with the Tier 1 and 2s. I really want to get that going and actually start sticking this in our base. On level 8 is where we're going to have it. So that'll go right here on this level. So we'll renovate this area here and stick that down here eventually. And we should be good to teleport in and out. This is the crafter, of course, is going to be on this level right here. So that should give us enough room to kind of teleport in or elevator in and not have any issues. But we'll get going on that probably in the next episode. We've got a live stream scheduled this week, so hopefully we can get everything we need done on that episode and get everything we need to start chaotic. But there's one more thing I'd like to do, which is craft up some crystals if we have... Oh, we got 3. So we only need 1 more crystal, and I'm going to throw all this in our crafter. I don't think we need anything else. We might put the shield on, but let's just not even bother. We're never going to really need a shield anymore. So we'll just throw all this back on our hotbar, and we should be good to go. I'll keep the bow on our hotbar. But we need to craft up some dragon crystals right now. We actually only need 1, but we're kind of running low on apparently glass. But gas tiers, I don't think we have very many of those. So what we're going to need to do is eventually catch a ghast in a soul vial and get a powered spawner going. Right now, the powered spawner we have going is, and let's see if we can see them, the Guardians. So the reason I have the Guardians, and I may need to rethink this, or it might only matter at night, or possibly in the end, because it's dark, is that random flashing glitch. So I don't know how much night vision we're going to actually use, but I teleported my own base. Foolish move. I'll be back as soon as this charges up and we can teleport to the end. Alright, so that's charged up. I did the math on this this generator, and we're not going to be able to do a 15 by 15 for sure. At least not right now. If we keep farming Iscalium like we are, and I don't even have that farm running right now, if we keep doing it like we've been doing, eventually we might get up to it. But basically, the amount of blocks of Iscalium we're going to need in a 15 by 15 is 13 by 13 by 13 on Iscalium blocks, ends up being 2,197 blocks of Iscalium, which is insane. And to get to that, we would need 19,773 pieces of Iscalium, which we don't have right now. We've got about 1,000, and a lot of that is going to be going into making these steel blocks and the glass. So we're gonna hold off on a 15 by 15, but we're gonna start making the 15 out of 15 with the Iscalium steel blocks and the glass at least, and fill in what we can at least put in there. So 15 by 15 is the goal, but definitely not going to happen by the next episode. And let's make sure I don't teleport to our own base again. So we want in the end. And we'll throw down some crystals and see how well we fare against this dragon. With our old armor, it wasn't very good. The dragon, when we get right up and close and personal with it, does a lot of damage on the armor, and the bar for the shield goes down quite quickly, and then we're taking health damage at that point. So hopefully with this new armor, we're able to withstand the attacks from the dragon enough to not take any health damage at all. Mostly that matters because I tend not to use a bow when I'm fighting the dragon. I don't stay at a distance. Oh yeah, that trips out with the night vision. Let's take the cat off. There we go. So we're kind of fighting a little bit in the dark here. But yeah, when we start facing stronger enemies than this dragon, that's really going to matter. Now, we may actually have to start using a bow if it comes to that. But we should be able to take this dragon down fairly quickly. Especially since we're just going to fly at it. Can't land a hit. Come back, dragon. Oh yeah, there we go. Hang out there real quick. There we go. Yeah, that was super quick. Doesn't take very many hits with this weapon. Pretty happy about that. This weapon is seriously OP with 108 damage. And we'll grab some of this XP here. Perfect. But yeah, that goes down pretty quickly with this weapon. And I didn't see our health bar move at all. I wasn't paying very close attention to the shield bar, but I didn't really see that move very much either. So I think with this armor, we're going to have a pretty easy time taking out stuff later on in the game, like the chaotic dragon, which apparently, if you don't have the draconic armor, will take you down in one single hit, that's pretty crazy. And there's 10 different levels from what I'm hearing on these chaotic dragons, or the chaos dragons, which the ones you find at 10,000 blocks away are pretty strong, and they'll one-hit you. But there's dragons that are 10 times stronger than that. So hopefully we're able to take down at least the level 1 dragon to start grabbing some chaotic shards pretty quickly. And we definitely seriously look OP. I love that. That's going to do it for this episode. So I hope you enjoyed me derping around and getting this armor together. And hopefully we can start getting a good supply of iron and gold from those 2 chickens that we've got. And I'm pretty sure we've got all the awakened draconium we're going to need for a long time. But that's going to do it for this episode. So don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more content in the future. I'll catch you guys in the next episode here on the PeerCraft server.